He's one of the most professional people and effective people we've met in this industry. We have a huge amount of respect for him, and this is his legacy. This is his mission, to help give people the opportunity to create their dream life and give their gifts to the planet.
So we'd like to welcome to the stage and for you to put your hands together for the amazing Larry McFarlane.
Give him a round of applause, yay! Woo!
It's nice to be back with you. I am just absolutely loving this group of people. I met many more of you at the Mix and Mingle last night. I hope you were there. If you're not, take advantage of it next year. It's busy, but it's great. I met a couple dozen more of you, and every one of you is just amazing. I heard so many stories about how Jeanie is positively impacting your life and your business, which is so rewarding for me. That is why I do what I do. Thank you. And we need that. We invest very heavily in the time and money and resources that it takes to bring Jeanie to you. And when we hear things like that, I go back home with so much energy to share with my team and to work on behalf of all of you. I also heard last night a common theme coming out, a couple of things that came up again and again that actually changed my direction a little bit for what we're going to do today. And those two things were, one, I heard several of you say to me, wasn't it sort of a bummer that Trish said you don't need to use Jeanie? And the other was leaders, particularly leaders, who said, I'm so sorry that I'm not good with technology and I haven't been using it as much as I should. And that's okay. Both of those things are okay. I don't find either one of those things to be at all odd or problematic. Jeanie is not a different way to do network marketing. Jeanie is the same way. Jeanie is becoming your leader. So each of you who are a leader, Jeanie is your training materials and your content and your process and your scripts and your emails. It may not be the way you do it. You may have it in a planner. You may have it in a notebook, a day timer. Great. And others in your group will want to have it in technology. Great. But it's the same either way. Okay? That's what Jeanie really is. And Nicole and Justin, thanks for the great introduction. But they've got this vision completely and are doing that exact thing for their team. So, start with a quote. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Dr. Seuss. I loved Dr. Seuss from my childhood, and so I have a bunch of Seuss quotes in my head that I pull out every now and then. This, though, is about leadership. And I'm going to speak to all of you today as though you were leaders already. Now, how many of you in the room are Director 700 or below right now? Okay. And how many of you are between bronze and platinum? Okay, and we know diamonds and up here. Okay. So we've got people at all different levels, but all of you are leaders. All of you are either leaders of a very small number of people, maybe you're a husband, up to thousands, many thousands of people, but everybody in this room is a leader or is going to be a leader, and so I am going to treat you as though you were the leader that you wish to be one day, and we're going to talk about leadership. I'm going to share with you, because you're all leaders and you can handle it, I'm going to share with you 3 little facts that we track about the ASEA Business Coach. The first is that over half of all consistent ABC users consider themselves orphans, and most don't even know their upline's names. Is that surprising to you? It shouldn't be surprising to you because it's a fact of our industry that lots of people join and some people stop working. They stop working because they're making enough money, because their life got busy, because they went on to something else. There's a lot of reasons to stop. But when they stop, the people beneath them are still going and they become orphans. The person that brought them in is no longer helping them. And maybe the person above them is no longer helping them. And they probably have an upline leader who's very active, working very hard, providing terrific leadership, but they still feel like orphans. And who's there for them? Jeanie is there for them. That's the vision, is that your senior upline leader should be able to be sitting right next to you 24/7, helping you succeed in the business because you have all of their wisdom right there with you. The most common reason for canceling the ABC trial subscription, now that's gone because we now have ABC Personal that's entirely free. We used to have a trial subscription, 30 days free, and then you would begin your subscription. And people would cancel during that trial period for the most common reason being, my upline doesn't use ABC. And somehow, people felt that that meant something was wrong. Maybe they shouldn't use it either. And I don't think that's what's intended. I don't think that's what Trish means when she says that she does it on paper. It's because that's her preference, and that's her habit, and that's her skill, and she's fine if you as a 30-something or a 40-something or a 20-something prefer to use technology. 47% of new users never contacted more than 10 people using the business coach, and the most common reason was the same thing. My upline doesn't use ABC, and so they didn't feel supported. If you feel this way, don't stop. Just because your upline does it on paper doesn't mean that you can't use technology to do it. Now, I want to dispel a bit of a myth here. Jeanie equals software, right? Jeanie's software. Well, it's true. Jeanie is software, but I don't want you to think of Jeanie as a bunch of technology, a bunch of software. That's not what she is. What she really is she is you. She is you. You are leaders. You figure out how to do this business, and you help others do it the same way you do. Jeanie, like you, supports people, provides them process, teaches them skill. This is exactly what you would do if you could sit right next to your new people for 24/7. You would do this. That's Jeanie. And this is how we think at Jixity every day. Yes, I'm a technology guy. I went to school in computer science, started a technology company while I was still in school, my first, and I love technology, I definitely do. But I spend more time thinking about how do you build a network marketing business than I do thinking about how do I program Jeanie. Actually, my staff programs Jeanie, but more than about the product, I think about how to build. And it starts with 3 emotions. Now, I'm male, and that means I'm emotionally challenged in some way. I'm also left-brained, which makes me even more challenged. I grew up in a family of 4 boys, no sisters, and I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16 years old. So by the time I did date, oh my goodness, women absolutely confused me. Amen, right? And today, I might pretend to understand one woman. Maybe. But the world is full of emotions. Not only my wife's or your girlfriend's, or it's everybody. I have emotions. We all have emotions. And this business is an extremely emotional business. And we have to acknowledge that it's emotional. And what drives success in this business, what drives people into and out of this business, are emotions. And understanding the emotions is important. So, let's look at some of these emotions, and I need your help. What emotion do these pictures represent? Call it out. Hope. 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 Why is hope so important to network marketing? Every single person in this room got into network marketing because of hope. Every one of us. We want something better. Yesterday I mentioned that I love that all of you are entrepreneurs, and I'm an entrepreneur, and we're tied that way. And being an entrepreneur starts with believing that we can have a better future for ourselves and for others. We have hope. Hope is crucial to get people in, and this is one of the things that you can keep in your mind as you're building your business, that when people tell you no, or not right now, it's because often they lack this. You can't create the seeds of hope. The seeds of hope have to be there already. You can fan the flames, you can plant them, you can nurture them, you can turn hope into faith, but hope has to start there. So hope is what begins, and when we lose hope, we also probably lose the energy to move on. So how does Jeanie and hope and all these emotions go together, right? Well, Jeanie contributes to hope. Do you remember the quote, one of the quotes, both of the quotes that I showed you yesterday? A woman's hope was finally validated and stoked by the fact that Jeanie was sending her a text message at exactly the right time in the middle of a graveyard shift when she was really down. She was lacking hope. She was about to give up, and suddenly it was there, and it was just at the right time for her. Jeanie provides hope in a lot of different ways. She provides hope because there's a lot of resources there. There's a lot of training. It's going to take me time to view this training. She's got scripts and email templates and methods for contacting and processes for my leaders, and I've got hope. I actually spend, I don't know, several hours a week on three-way calls with you who have a particular recruit you're trying to bring in, and they're somebody who likes technology and is looking for a tool. And often Jeanie provides the hope, the last bit of the hope to actually get them to sign up. Jeanie's key to hope. Here's a piece of that quote from yesterday. You saved me. One night while I was working a late shift and feeling low, I got a text from Jeanie telling me someone clicked my email. It was just what I needed. I knew I could do it. Hope. Emotion number 2. What is this emotion? Call it out. Trust, freedom, those are good ones. Confidence. He's cheating. He's heard this before. Confidence. Is confidence important to network marketing? Yes. Absolutely. We will not continue. We might come in for hope, but if we lack confidence in a variety of things, we will not act. We will stop. What are the things we need confidence in? First and foremost, I need confidence in me. I need confidence in myself. And when I start, I've got precious little of that. So I need some self-confidence. I need confidence in the people in my team, in my support team, that they're going to be able to help me, that I can trust them to want to help me, to have the skills to help me. Above all, I need confidence in ASEA. I need to know that the product works. I need to know that the science is solid. I need to know this company has values. It pays commission checks on time. It's got financial stability. That's why we have ASEA's corporate executives at these events, giving you that. Without that confidence, we're in trouble. How does Jeanie play into that confidence? Does Jeanie help with self-confidence? Absolutely. The resources are there. I feel like a professional way earlier in the business when the email that I should send is right there in front of me and it sounds great. I could send that. I sound like a professional right on day one. I've got training before I ever start. I've got that confidence. Jeanie has all of the materials from ASEA right in the product. She helps me deal with things like internationalization that are complicated, and I don't feel confident about those things. So all of those things get bolstered by simply having Jeanie there for you. Again, the quote from Ruth yesterday, an excerpt. I don't know how others learn to talk about ASEA, run a business, organize their time, and make a process. I learned it from Jeanie before I had the confidence to ask for help. Now, Ruth today has had that confidence to ask for help. She's now being mentored on a regular basis by one of ASEA's Triple Diamonds, Cindy Buck. And she just loves Cindy, but she says, my life could never have been changed by Cindy if I didn't first have Jeanie to give me enough confidence to talk to Cindy. Quote from Nicole, the number one thing that limits success of people new to network marketing is not knowing what to do, not having the confidence. The feedback from our team has been amazing. They're getting that confidence. Challenges with duplication limit the success of experienced people. Jeanie has given us and the leaders on our team a huge confidence boost in our ability to grow a massive global business. See how important confidence is? It comes right out of Nicole's mouth as a key element to building this business. Third emotion. Name this one. Joy, I like that. Passion. Okay, enthusiasm is what I'm looking for. Enthusiasm. Why enthusiasm? Why is enthusiasm so key to network marketing? It's infectious, exactly. It's energy. Enthusiasm is the activation energy I need to get off my butt and do it. I've got enough hope, I have a little bit of confidence, and if I can just get fired up just a little bit, I can do this. Maybe to make one call or 2 calls, just enough. I've got enough enthusiasm. We're here today to get all of these things, to build our hope, to increase our confidence, and to build some enthusiasm. That's why the music was so loud this morning. That's why we had Miriam up here going crazy on the stage, right? It's enthusiasm. How does Jeanie play into the enthusiasm? She is providing everything that your leaders provide her is there. Enthusiasm wanes more slowly when I'm in the presence of somebody who can bolster it. And Jeanie is a somebody. She's not just a piece of software. Jeanie represents your upline, giving it back to you. The videos from this event, you'll find them in Jeanie. All of the materials for ASEA. Oh yeah, I should have told you this yesterday. ASEA, liquid supplement, now available in Australia. Jeanie now has all of that material in the library already. So enthusiasm. So we have these 3 emotions. We're so grateful for the ASEA Business Coach. Enthusiasm. Feedback from our team has been amazing. Enthusiasm. Jeanie is our essential platform to grow while maintaining a personal lifestyle we love. Enthusiasm. These 3 emotions make the world go round. They also make network marketing go round. Ruth Little, now she gives me encouragement and efficiency. ASEA is my family almost as much as my real family, and Jeanie is a part of it. So, these 3 emotions. Before we move past these, let's think about, as leaders, if these are so crucial to building my business, how do I maintain these emotions? Have you heard of momentum? Those of you who are new in the business, have you heard of momentum? Momentum is like the holy grail of our industry. It's awesome. I've been there when it happens. Okay, it's mythical and wonderful, and what it is that all of a sudden the company sort of takes off and the business suddenly feels really easy for everybody. It's easy to bring people in, it's easy for people to get started, it's just easy. Everybody's making money, we're go, 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 go. And there's a lot of study that's been done on how do I create momentum. How do I create momentum? I studied it for years as an executive in network marketing. And there's lots of theories about that. It's simplicity of a process. It's a particularly great story that the company can tell. And there are lots of pieces, but the key is these 3 emotions. When all 3 of those emotions are hitting on all cylinders, momentum happens easily. So we've got to be able to manage these emotions. Who's responsible for hope? Me. Me as an individual, I'm responsible for my own hope. I am. I have to bring my own hope, and so affirmations and things like that, terrific. As a leader, do I have any responsibility for hope in my people? Yes. Absolutely, and I can nurture that. I can validate their dreams. I can show them that they can. I can help them feel good and believing often. Does the company have responsibility for hope? Well, everybody in network marketing has some responsibility, but not as much. The hope comes from people like you who are doing it. Confidence. Who's the primary responsible party for confidence? Corporate. Corporate is responsible for most of what lets us do this. We've got to know all those things I mentioned earlier. The commissions are going to get paid on time. They've got the money to pay them. They build great products. The products actually work. Scientists are validating them. The executives are great. They come out and support us. I mean, when all of that gets creaky, it's over. But fortunately, we have a company that's super full of that kind of confidence. So we've got that. There's also some self-confidence. Leaders can help with that. And leaders have to remember that they do have to deliver that self-confidence through training like this, through regular calls, and finally, enthusiasm. I went a little too far. Enthusiasm. Who's responsible for enthusiasm? Primarily, leaders. Did you notice that this morning's meeting was way more fun in the way it started than yesterday's meeting? Yes. Why? Because the field was in charge of this one instead of corporate, right? Look at me. I've got this, I'm monochrome, I got a coat on, I'm like sort of corporate, right? But you guys are up here having fun. Yeah. Look at Justin in the crazy colored shirt and yeah. You guys can bring enthusiasm better than corporate ever can. So they may provide a stage and projectors and some cool AV at a convention, but when you go to convention as leaders, you don't go there to be entertained. You may be entertained, but you go there to bring enthusiasm that other people need. That convention is a partnership between you and corporate, and your job is the enthusiasm, not theirs. You guys are enthusiasm. So these three things, when they get working, the business works. Now, that's not weird, right? That's just humanity works like that. And this business is human and one-on-one and real. Okay, besides those three things, which are the most important things in network marketing and with which Jeanie helps in every case, I think about this all the time. How can Jeanie help manage those emotions, help you manage those emotions for your team? 3 habits, and these, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because these are being extolled from these stages all the time. This one, running in the middle of winter, hauling a bunch of junk with your friends in the reserves, I don't know. This is self-discipline. We need self-discipline. I think Trish Winkler is probably the paragon of self-discipline. She is amazing. I want to have 10% of Trish's self-discipline, and I'll be twice as successful. We all do. We're going to have some self-discipline. Can Jeanie help with self-discipline? This is one of the things I hear most commonly validated when people come and tell me what Jeanie does for them. Jeanie gives you a to-do list every day. She prioritizes the to-do list. She holds you accountable to the to-do list. She emails you a copy of it every single morning. She knows when you have set up your system. She knows when you have done your training. She reports to the people who assigned your training. She holds you somewhat accountable. Now, does that make you not want to use Jeanie? I hope not. Leave now. You need something. It's easier to have this cartoon lady holding you accountable than Justin or Trish. Or your wife. Oh, my wife. Yeah. Oh, heavens. Yes. Next, processes. We need processes or routines. Trish, again, master at this. And everyone who's successful in here, Danny Doyle, workaholic, getting things done. Justin and Nicole, I work personally with them frequently. These people have routines and processes, and they grind their way through it and get the thing done. You also have to develop the process. Set aside the time each day. Don't mess around with your time. That time you can be busy without getting anything done if your process isn't a good process. So how does Jeanie play into that? Just as you would expect. She has a process. Where did she get the process? From your leader. Everyone in the room may have a slightly different process being taught to them by Jeanie because it's the way your leader wants it done. Even if your leader is not technologically advanced, if they're technophobic, doesn't matter. They still know how to do network marketing. They can still tell me how to tell Jeanie to tell you how to do it, right? So it's still your leader even if they don't use Jeanie to do their own contacting every day. And lastly, persistence. Sometimes it feels like you're a salmon swimming upstream or a dandelion trying to push through asphalt. It's not always easy. We have highs and we have lows and we have easy periods and challenging periods. And that's true of ourselves personally and our lives. It's also true of our company. That you'll go through periods and you just can't quit. Was it Winston Churchill that said, never, 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 I don't know how many nevers, give up, right? Never give up. That's the key to winning the war. It's the key to success in anything. I can tell you as a technology entrepreneur, more than anything else in the world, this is the key to success. If I stick it out long enough and I listen and I learn and I pivot the business every time I learn, eventually I will succeed. If I just don't run out of money before then. Right? That's the key. And that's the key for your business as well. How does Jeanie play in that? Exactly as you would think. She reminds you to follow up with your people. She reminds them that you're going to be following up so that you feel accountable. She reminds you to do your training. She reminds your upline to mentor you. She reminds and allows you to remain persistent when you might be tempted to just not do it. All right, now a few words on duplication. Duplication is, we keep talking about duplication, and it's a big buzzword in our industry, and it's the reason that Jeanie exists, is to teach you to do things exactly the way proven leaders do them and succeed. But duplication is often a word that's tossed around easily and not necessarily actually done. To do duplication well, we need two key things. One is an exact process, and you can expect of your leaders more of this. Ask them for this, an exact process. It's easy to stand up and say, here's all the principles. Here's, like I'm doing, right? That's really easy. To say, here's how you build. You just talk to more people, and just make more appointments, and just have refreshments at the end of your meeting. But if there's an exact process for you to follow, exactly, this is what you're going to say, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to order, it's easier for new people to get started, and unless they have no doubt, they won't start. So we need an exact process for new associates. Now, once you're beyond being new, it doesn't matter, but for new associates, they need to hear that there is exactness, and any process is better than no process. Without any process, they won't start. They're just unsure of what to do, and you can always refine it as you go along. And second, you have to have adequate detail in this process. Too little detail, and we don't have the confidence to fill in the blanks. Your new people are not going to act because there are too many open questions. You told me to just open my mouth and talk, but you didn't tell me what to say. And for the people who told you to just open your mouth and talk, that's obvious. There are a lot of people in this room who can just open their mouth and talk. It's a piece of cake. And there are a lot of people in this room who think, oh, I can't do that. I would die if I tried to do that. They need the confidence to just say this, and if it doesn't work for you, then you can change it, but start with this. Too much detail causes analysis paralysis. If you guys like business books, there's a book called The Paradox of Choice that I can recommend to you. The Paradox of Choice says, if I'm given too many choices, it not only takes me a long time to decide on which thing I'm going to do, it also makes me less satisfied with the choice I made because I'm not sure I made the right choice among all those options. So for example, when you signed up in the business, did you know exactly which purchase to make for your initial order and what to put on auto ship in your first month? No, that was a little bit bewildering, right? It would have been easier if somebody had just told you, start with this, and then next month you can change. That's a good example of making it easier. So that's duplication. Now with Jeanie, all of your leaders have an idea of how they build. And in the business without Jeanie, just the paper manual business, we have duplication inheritance that goes on all the time. Your leader has a leader who has a leader who has a leader who has a leader. Trish Schwenkler, mother to all of us in the business, she's up here talking about how to get it done. And all of us other leaders are listening to that and accepting it and taking that wisdom and using it. So we're inheriting her wisdom, and so on and so on and so on down the line. Jeanie works exactly the same way. So when Trish decides that this is the welcome campaign that's going to go out to everybody in her team all the way through all of those triple diamonds gets that welcome campaign, unless one of those triple diamonds says, I'd like to do it differently. And then they can. That's the way it works in the real world. That's the way it works with Jeanie as well. So for you leaders who are triple diamonds or up, everything in Jeanie is customizable for you. Everything. There are a few key things that we're going to talk about that you can modify easily to make your duplication model work. But if you're unhappy in any way with how you see Jeanie working for your team, all you have to do is raise your hand and say, I want to change that for my team. You have to be a triple diamond to do that. So all of you get to triple diamond, and you can do this too, right? Okay. Duplication content. Now, if you are one of those triple diamond leaders or beyond, what content do you want to be providing to your team? It starts with some very, very basics. First is training. Your brand new person on the first day, this is what they're hoping you give them right off the bat, because they are lacking most of all in confidence in themselves. So can you give them something that teaches them just a little bit to let them know that they can do this? They can take that first step, maybe make that first phone call. Maybe it's to you. But training videos, training presentations, training documents, you're already preparing these things. You have them on your own websites. You're giving them out at events like this. They can live in Jeanie, and your team will have access to them. You can also share them between leaders so that you can enjoy that, lift that burden together. Second, library files. Now, these are the files that you share when you're building your business. These are the ones that talk for you, that pique interest. As Melissa was talking about earlier, piquing interest starts with sharing a tool. And there are lots of great interest-piquing sharing tools that are out there in the ASEA world, and they're in the ASEA Business Coach if your leaders make them available. So as a leader, if you've got these things, you'll want to put them in there. All of Trisha's content, shareable content and training content, is in the Business Coach. All of Alan Noble's content is in the Business Coach. All of Justin and Nicole's is in the Business Coach, and I could go on, right? Yours can be too. Third, a welcome campaign. As leaders, you are constantly trying to keep track of who's in my business and how do I stay in touch with them as it grows. It gets harder and harder and harder and more expensive and more time consuming, and it's a challenge. Jeanie can just lift that burden for you. You prepare the emails that you'd like to send to a new associate, the emails you'd like to send to a new customer. Jeanie will make sure that that happens immediately on people joining your business. If you don't do it, which email campaigns are you going to get? The ones up from upline that have already provided this content. Now, if you want to see which content your team is getting today, you can log into your Business Coach, go to Settings, Campaigns, and you will see that content. Okay, Settings, Campaigns. Fourth, the contacting process. We heard from Melissa, start of that contacting process. It's the process, the initial, I can't remember what the slide said now. The piquing interest and the approach and pique interest. It's the third-party validation. It's each of those steps. You can decide what those steps are for your team and provide contacting scripts and email templates and text templates so that your team is doing it just the way you're teaching it every single day. Now, this is all stuff that you're already creating right now. So all we need to do is put it into the Business Coach for you. So reach out. Now, is there more than that? There's a ton more than that, but that's where you start. That is the majority, that's the stuff that's most critical, and once you get that in there, you will appreciate enough what the Business Coach can do as a leader that you will automatically be asking me for the other things that you want. The text messages you want sent in specific circumstances, the trainings you want assigned, and so on, and we can talk about that. My point here, for all of you leaders, all of you, you're either a triple diamond already or you're going to be a triple diamond, is that you don't have to be a techno whiz. You don't have to use Jeanie to do your contacting. You do have to provide these resources and this support to your teams so that you can grow as fast as you can grow and that your orphans, which are inevitable, are fully supported the way you need them to be supported. Okay? That's Jeanie and duplication. So now, a brief review from yesterday. Getting started with ABC. If you're not already started, click on the ASEA Business Coach in your back office, menu, and then Jeanie's picture, and she will take you and automatically log you in. If it's your first time, she'll ask you for a password and your nickname and have you fill out a couple of forms. It takes less than 5 minutes. You're done, and you can begin getting tours of the Business Coach, or you can just log back out again, knowing that you'll begin to get Jeanie working on your behalf Once you've done that the first time, if you'd prefer, you can go straight to the business coach right there, abc.asiaglobal.com. And once you're in, at any time, if you're confused, and you will be confused from time to time, there's a lot there. This is a whole set of tools for building your business in all parts of your business. You can click Love, Feedback, or Bug and be talking to a member of Jixity's staff about anything that you want. Many of you have asked me about resetting ABC. If you've been a user of the ASEA Business Coach from way back, you were with us 2 or 3 years ago, and you don't remember, you've got contacts in there at different places, and you'd just like to start over again and get a fresh start. This is how you do that. On the left navigation bar, you click on Settings, you click on Advanced, and you have 3 different reset options. You can read the options for yourself once you're in there, but clicking one of those options will let you start right from scratch if that's what you want to do. You'll have a brand new user experience just like your people will have, or you can just get yourself going again. And you remember, you don't have to be using this every day to do your contacting, to get the full value for your team out of the business coach. This is new. This screen was added about a week or 2 ago. We call it the Choose Your Own Adventure screen internally. And when you get your setup complete in Jeanie, it will ask you, where do you want to start your Jeanie experience? Start here in the training center if you're brand new to ASEA. It's a great place to get going. Start lower left, start here if recruiting is your focus. If you've already started and you're starting to talk to people, start with the contact manager. Jeanie will prompt you to import your contacts, make a list, and help you through that initial contacting process. Team manager, start here if your team gets most of your time. You senior leaders, you may not use the ASEA Business Coach for contacting, but you will use it to manage your team. This is a faster, easier, more visual way for you to get information about your team when you need it, even than logging into the virtual office. And finally, if you just are mostly wanting access to ASEA content, I don't think that applies to anybody in this room, but if you're mostly, you're signed up as an associate, but you're mostly really a customer, or you're just kicking tires, you can start with the contact library. Now, which one of these you choose has no bearing on what you can do with the ASEA Business Coach once you're in. It just starts you in a place that's most appropriate for you, but the entire Business Coach is then available to you. Now, to subscribe, if you're already in the Business Coach, click on this green button. It says the Pro Upgrade. That will just change to say Pro after you've upgraded. Click on there. You can read about what the differences are between Personal and Pro. Fill out a form, and your auto ship will be started with ASEA. Or if you'd like to just shortcut it and get going right away, this is the fastest possible way to subscribe. abc.asiaglobal.com/subscribe, and fill out your associate ID and email address, hit submit. You'll be taken to an ASEA page to get your credit card information, and you'll be started. And may I put a personal plea here, that please do this. Please do this for your team. Please care about them as much as I care about them. And help me help them. You are funding the ASEA Business Coach, which is a unique competitive advantage for ASEA. It's cutting edge. There's nothing else like this on the planet, nor is there going to be. This requires a real twist in the way we think. Help us fund this faster and faster to be even more of a competitive advantage for all of you. And if you never did, Jeanie, you should. These things are fun, and fun is good. Thank you, everybody.